So we are deep into the month of December. To be more specific, the 20th of December, which can only mean one thing: the holiday season is in full swing, which also means we are all so busy, we're virtually losing our minds. Anyways, with that being said, today, I'm going to show you how to make 4 last-minute appetizers, what are known here in Spain as tapas, that promise to be a huge hit at your next holiday party or family get-together. Now, the reason why I'm calling these appetizers last minute is because they're all so easy to make. Each one comes together in under 30 minutes, and they're all made with the simplest everyday ingredients that you can easily find at your supermarket, or you probably already have at home as you're watching this, folks. Like I always tell you, this is what great food is all about. Recipes that don't require expensive equipment, no difficult techniques, just simple hometown cooking that packs a ton of great flavors. Really quick before we begin, a shout out to one of my patrons, Jim Schallert. Once again, Jim, thank you so much for being a patron of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. All right, let's dive into the recipes. For the first appetizer, we are making stuffed mushrooms with manchego and breadcrumbs. Let's begin by adding in 2 cups of finely grated manchego cheese into a large bowl, which is about 226 grams. The manchego that I'm using has been aged for 3 months, so it easily melts, but it still has a great flavor. However, you can use whatever cheese you want here that easily melts, such as Gruyere, mozzarella, or even cheddar. Then I'm going to add in half a cup of breadcrumbs, which is 60 grams. Finely grate in 1 large clove of garlic. Add in 2 tablespoons of finely chopped parsley, which is 8 grams. And we'll lightly season with a little sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll mix it together until everything's well mixed. For the next step, let's get the mushrooms ready. I've got 8 extra large button mushrooms here. These have already been washed and patted dry. I'm going to remove the stem from the mushrooms and then, using a butter knife, scrape inside of the hole to make it bigger. That way we can add more of the cheese mixture into the mushroom. Then we'll add the mushrooms into a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper, making sure they're all sitting whole side up. We'll drizzle the mushrooms with a kiss of extra virgin olive oil and season them with a little sea salt. Then we'll grab our cheese mixture and start stuffing it into the mushrooms, making sure as you're adding that mixture that you push down on it with a spoon. That way you can add as much of the mixture as possible. And we'll add our stuffed mushrooms into a preheated oven, bake and broil option. That's the bottom and top heat, 210 degrees Celsius, which is 410 degrees Fahrenheit. If your oven can't do both functions at the same time, no big deal. Just cook your mushrooms for a couple extra minutes longer than I'm cooking mine. After about 10 minutes, these mushrooms should be perfectly cooked. I'm going to remove them from the oven, and we'll transfer them into a serving dish. Check it out, our first appetizer is done. Stuffed mushrooms with manchego and breadcrumbs. So easy to put together. They have such a beautiful presentation and the flavors are truly mind-blowing delicious. All right, let's move on to the second appetizer. We are making spicy garlic shrimp skewers. This is an incredible recipe that has so many bold flavors to it, and once again, it's super easy to put together. Let's begin by making the marinade first. I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into a small bowl, which is 30 milliliters. Then we'll finely grate in 2 large cloves of garlic into the olive oil. If you don't have a grater, you can just finely mince the garlic. And we'll add in half a teaspoon of hot smoked Spanish paprika, which is 1.15 grams. And we'll whisk it together. That way everything is well mixed, and then set it aside. That way all the flavors can develop. In the meantime, let's get the shrimp ready. I've got 12 raw jumbo shrimp here. These are peeled and deveined, and I did buy them frozen and thaw them out. So it's very important to pan them down with some paper towels to remove any of the excess water in the shrimp. That way later on when we cook them, they can absorb all the flavors. Then we'll add in the shrimp into some wooden skewers. And brush the marinade over the shrimp skewers, making sure you do this on both sides. And then we'll season the shrimp skewers with a little sea salt and black pepper, once again, making sure you do it on both sides. For the next step, let's start cooking our shrimp skewers. I'm going to be using a grilling pan here, but you can also use a standard fry pan, and I'm going to heat it with a medium heat. After heating the pan for about 4 minutes and it's nice and hot, I'm going to start adding the shrimp skewers into the pan, making sure they're all in a single layer. After about 60 to 90 seconds, I'm going to start flipping the skewers to cook the other side. After a total cooking time of 3 minutes, that's about 1.5 minutes per side, these shrimp skewers should be perfectly cooked. You don't want to overcook the shrimp. I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, and we'll transfer the skewers into a serving dish. Our second appetizer is done. We're talking spicy garlic shrimp skewers. Once again, these are filled with so many beautiful bold flavors. The recipe is very easy to make, but the best part, they came together in under 30 minutes. All right, moving down the list to the third appetizer, we're making Spanish-style tomato bruschetta. This dish promises to be a huge hit at your next holiday party or family get-together because it's filled with so many great flavors. Let's begin by slicing 2 large tomatoes, or you can use 3 medium-sized ones, and then roughly dicing each slice of tomato. Then we'll add the chopped tomato into a large bowl. Finely grate in 1 large clove of garlic over the tomatoes. Once again, if you don't have a grater, you can use finely minced the garlic. Then we'll add in 2 tablespoons of finely chopped parsley, which is 8 grams. 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. And 1 teaspoon of sherry vinegar, which is 5 milliliters. Then we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll mix it together, that way everything's well mixed, and then set it aside, that way all the flavors can develop. For the next step, let's start getting the bread ready. I'm going to be using a standard baguette here, but you can use whatever bread you like. I'm going to cut it into slices that are 1 inch thick, which is about 2.5 centimeters. Then we'll add the slices of baguette into a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper, making sure they're all in a single flat layer. And we'll drizzle them with a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. And we'll add our slices of baguette into a preheated oven. Once again, bake and broil option, that's the bottom and top heat, 210 degrees Celsius, which is 410 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're just gonna lightly toast them for a couple minutes. Once the slices of baguette have been lightly toasted, let's start assembling our dish. I'm gonna start adding spoonfuls of the tomato mixture over each slice. You wanna make sure to use a slotted spoon here, that way you don't add too much of that olive and sherry vinegar in there, otherwise it's gonna make the bread soggy. And check it out, our third appetizer is done, Spanish-style tomato bruschetta. Once again, so easy to make, done in under 30 minutes, and filled with so many beautiful and refreshing flavors. All right, we've made it to the last appetizer. As always, we save the best for last. We're making a very simple tuna salad, served next to some crackers. Let's begin by grabbing 2 tins of tuna in olive oil and adding them into a sieve with a bowl underneath. Now the size of each tin is about 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces. And we'll give the tuna a quick mix to remove any of the excess olive oil, but you don't want to overmix it, otherwise it can easily dry up. And we'll transfer the tuna into a large bowl. Then we'll add in half a cup of mayonnaise over the tuna, which is 115 grams. We'll also add in 1 shallot that's been roughly diced, 1 clove of garlic that's been finely minced, and 8 pimento stuffed green Spanish olives that have been roughly chopped. Then we'll season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll mix this together until everything's well mixed. Then we'll transfer the tuna mixture into a small serving bowl. Place it over a serving dish, and add some crackers around the tuna salad. Our fourth and final appetizer is done, a very simple Spanish tuna salad. Easy to make, beautiful presentation, done in under 30 minutes, and let me tell you, when you grab one of those crackers and dip it into that tuna salad, it truly is an explosion of so much goodness. You saw it, folks. 4 beautiful appetizers, all of them so easy to make. Each one comes together in under 30 minutes, and once again, they're all made with the simplest everyday ingredients. Try these appetizers for your next holiday party or family get-together, and I promise everyone's gonna go wild because they are that good. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on 4 community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.